Hey guys, here I am again. I am actually making a second video today because I had another really good question and I wanted to let you guys know about this amazing source that I'm using to answer this question, and also one of my go-to sources for other questions people may ask. It's one of my favorite books and it's called Get Anyone to Do Anything. It's a great book and it has a lot of information again, and it's by David J. Lieberman, PhD, and I think it's something that everybody should pick up and read. It gives you a nice little overview insight on the basic psychology of human interaction and how to navigate your way through the waters when you're not so sure what to do in a situation. The question I was asked was how to know whether or not somebody's manipulating you. Um, and what manipulation is when somebody tries to make you do something or act a certain way or say something that you wouldn't normally do based on logic or reasoning, but that you would do because of an emotional response. And according to my book, the doctor says that there are actually 7 different tricks that people use to try to manipulate someone. And so this is just a quick oversight on what those tricks are, so you know when someone's trying to manipulate you, and you can go from there to avoiding the situation if you don't feel comfortable with it. So the first indicator is guilt. If somebody tries to guilt you into someone or into something or guilt trips you. One of the things that people could say was, how could you say that? How could you think I was such a horrible person? Don't you trust me? Like, aren't you my friend? They're trying to guilt you into doing something. That's a big no-no. If they are your friend, then they wouldn't have to try to manipulate you to get you to do something. They would just ask you outright. The other another something that people do is they will appeal to your ego, meaning that they will try to put you up on a pedestal and try to make it so that you look like you are that good person that they're making you out to be, by doing whatever they want you to do. For example, somebody might say, I know you're really smart, so I know you can see why you should do this. Well, everybody wants to think of themselves as smart, so frequently people will get manipulated into doing something that maybe isn't so smart because they think it's smart because the other person told them that you're a smart person and that you would do this. It's a slippery slope, but it comes across pretty easily. Or you're a really pretty girl. You could pull off anything. I'm sure you could wear that dress if your friend, wants to get the dress you really want and wants you to wear something else. So, that kind of thing, you just couldn't go for. Even if somebody says, "Oh, you're so smart. You would be onto me in a second if I tried to pull anything on you." Well, that's another appeal to your ego. So don't take any of that crap. Another thing is fear. Fear is such an amazing psychological motivator. It motivates our flight or fight response. And in many cases, a manipulator will try to use fear to make you either fight or flee. They could say something like, oh, this is the last shot, or we're going to lose everything, or, nobody's going to like us, or something like that. That's appealing to your fear. That's trying to make you act based on fear. And taking action when you are fearful is never a smart thing to do. You end up acting more irrationally and more ridiculous than you would if you just took a couple of seconds to calm down and step back and reevaluate the situation. Another thing that people will do is try to get you curious. They'll say, oh, you've never done it before. Why not give it a try? Or, you only live once. Or, it might be fun, or you may regret it if you never do it. Okay, that one's pretty easy to see through. If you don't want to do something and somebody appeals to your curiosity, it may get you curious about it, but it shouldn't force you to do something that you don't want to do. Because most of the time, if we're not curious about something ourselves, then there's nothing that we can derive pleasure from in that situation. So don't do it. The sixth one, which the book says, is our desire to be liked. But this sort of goes more into fear, in my opinion. And the book explains it as, people will say to you, oh, I thought you were like a real player, so did everybody else. I thought you were a really good guy, and so did everybody else. So this is going to be a real disappointment if you don't come through for us. Well, this is sort of playing off your fear again, your fear of not being liked by everybody. First of all, it sucks to be liked by people who don't even like you for you, but who like you for what you do for them. So you might want to reevaluate your friendship. And I'll put up another blog later about how you can tell a real friend from not a real one. But not everybody is going to be upset if you back down or if you back out. That's not the case. So don't be manipulated by someone who tells you that everybody will think you're cool or thinks you're cool because you're doing whatever they want them to do. Stand up for yourself and be confident in your own decisions. The last thing that people use is love. And this is more in romantic situations, not so much in sort of everyday friendship situations. And that would be someone telling you, if you loved me, you wouldn't even question me. If you loved me, you would know that I'm only looking out for you. If you loved me, etc., etc., etc. It's a total trend, and it's a total manipulation. One I have actually used several times myself on boys I didn't really like that much. I was just dating them, and they, would do stuff for me. And it's nice that they did it for me, but I didn't respect them anymore for it, and I didn't love them anymore for doing it. I just manipulated them into doing it. So when you think that somebody's manipulating you, 9 times out of 10, they probably are. And they're probably using one of these tactics in order to manipulate you into doing something. The best thing to do whenever you think you're being manipulated is to stop, step back, and reevaluate the whole situation. If this person is your friend and it puts you in this awkward situation where you know you're being manipulated, call them out on it. Because there might be a real reason why they want you to do something, but they're just afraid to tell you what it is for fear of looking dumb or feeling stupid. So reassure them that, yes, you are my friend, and if you just tell me what's really going on, then I might be able to help you, rather than trying to manipulate them into getting you to do something. I hope that helps. Keep emailing me your questions at iwantyourtwocents@gmail.com, and I'll give you my 2 cents on whatever questions you have to ask. And don't forget, if you happen to be at the bookstore or the library, try to check into this book. Get Anyone to Do Anything. It's a fabulous book, and it's one of my go-to psychology books when I am trying to muddle my way through my own life or just answering basic questions. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you again.